Let's explore modifiers for sentence correction on the GMAT. To get maximum benefit from this video, pause the recording now and read these sentences. See if you can find any mistakes, and see if you can think of any improvements to these sentences. Take a minute. All these sentences would be considered incorrect in the GMAT. The last couple perhaps we can quibble over a little bit, but the first 5 have very clear modifier errors. And before we dive in, just a qualification. When I talk about correct, I'm talking about correct according to the GMAT. And to be clear, GMAT English is not the same as the kind of English I write or speak every day. It's more precise, more formal, and more old-fashioned than the way that most of us use English. But it's also very consistent, so that we can think of this as kind of playing the game or learning to speak GMAT English. Okay, let's look at number 1. The modifier here is with a broken leg. And by modifier, I simply mean a word or phrase that adds information to something else in the sentence. In this example, with a broken leg is giving information about the doctor. But that doesn't quite make sense. I think logically it was my friend who had a broken leg. If the doctor had a broken leg, they probably wouldn't be at work. So to correct the sentence, we need to put the modifier next to my friend, to say something like, my friend with a broken leg went to the doctor. So this is the first thing about modifiers. We need to be careful what position we put them in a sentence. And in this case, we need to make sure it's next to the thing that it's modifying. The marker word for modifier here was the preposition. These short words like with, in, on, at, words that show position are called prepositions. And modifiers with prepositions need to be next to the thing that they're modifying. Number 2. Hopefully you can see a silly meaning here. The modifier walking in the woods is giving information at the moment about my backpack. Well, that definitely doesn't make sense. It wasn't my backpack that was walking in the woods. And you can see how modifiers are intimately connected to meaning. This provides an argument for reading sentences on the GMAT for meaning before diving into some of the grammar topics. To correct the sentence, we would need to make sure that walking in the woods was modifying me. Something like, walking in the woods, I had my backpack stolen by bears. This kind of modifier I'm going to call an opening modifier, and it modifies the noun that comes after it. Opening modifier because it comes at the beginning of a sentence. Another caveat here. The way I'm describing modifiers is a little bit simplified. Modifiers is a very complicated topic, and you could spend a long time studying it, and that wouldn't be useful for the GMAT. I want to present this grammar in a way that's going to be both easy to understand and easy to apply to GMAT problems. So I'm slightly simplifying some of the issues in a way that I hope is useful. Number 3. This word which is a clear marker for a modifier. And at the moment, this is giving information about her exam. Well, that would be okay for my ordinary English, but not precise enough for the GMAT. It wasn't exactly her exam which impressed her friends. It was the fact that she scored well on her exam. And when we want to modify a whole clause, using a clause, comma, ing modifier will be better. So she scored well on her exam, comma, impressing her friends would be the best solution here. Number 4. Another WH word. And this modifier, where I learned about modifiers, is giving information about the video. That seems okay, but again, it's not precise enough. Where should be used to modify a place, and a video is not a place. So a solution like, this is the video in which I learned about modifiers would be better. And notice how that probably sounds a bit uncomfortable, a bit old-fashioned even. These WH words and the word that can give information about nouns. Number 5. The modifier here is a Toyota, and we've got another problem with position here because it's next to city. But hang on, the city was not a Toyota, it was our new car. So we would need to move the modifier next to the thing that it should be modifying. We bought a new car, comma, a Toyota, comma, etc. This modifier is a noun, comma, noun, where one noun is placed next to the noun that it's modifying. On to the more subtle ones. Number 6 is just about okay, but I think it can be improved. We've got 2 facts. I saw a bird and it was flying. But these are not separate pieces of information. The flying was about the bird. So I think this would sound better with a modifier in place of the second phrase. I saw a bird flying. A noun ing modifier. And notice this works very much in the same way that the noun that modifier works. I saw a bird that was flying, or I saw a bird flying, same difference. But notice how the modifier kind of integrates those 2 pieces of information and connects them in a logical way. Number 7. This is very subtle. That's just about all right at the moment. We've got a clause, comma, ing modifier. Taking 10 years is giving information about how they built the house. But wait a moment. It wasn't the fact that they built a new house that took 10 years. It was the project that took 10 years. So this one could be improved by saying they built a house, comma, a project that took 10 years. Introducing the word project to describe the situation of building a new house. So actually here we've got a noun modifying the clause before it, kind of describing the situation, and then we're adding on another modifier to that noun. Just before I show my solutions, pause the video again and see if you can remember how all these sentences can be improved. Here are my solutions. And to be clear, other solutions are possible, but I've shown the ones which are most likely to appear in the GMAT. These are the most common kinds of mistakes with modifiers you're going to see in the GMAT. Take note of them and see if you can find them in official problems. Check out the link below for a follow-up task.